I'm sure that Chabad Chassidim know, but it's worth reiterating. The Rav made a fuss a few times as Rabbi, not just for his Chassidim, for all the people. It was a big zilzal, which still today is, on Birchas Hanehenin. Still today it is. So the Rav made the Luach, and then when he made the Seder, and one of the famous things that was very, very famous about all the Chassidim, about how he made a tumult. You know what a tumult is? Made arouse people to know that brachas is, unfortunately, brachas is one of the things that we step on. Don't take it seriously, and big deal. A bracha this way, a bracha that way. It's a huge, huge deal. Okay. All right, we'll start. Mitzvahs esem in HaTorah. Nevorach achar achilas muzan. In HaTorah you have to bench. You name echaltu v'savot v'rachtus Hashem alekecha. So in HaTorah you eat. You have to bench. So the Reise die Gesach. Im Libre Sofrem mit Rabbana Baruch v'nei kol achila v'shtia. The Rav says it's only a Rabbanan. Now this is a very famous question. The Gemara beginning of Ketzim Mavachim says, how do you know that you got to make a bracha? So the Gemara says, a kal v'chomer. Madach, when you finish eating, you have to make a blessing. The more so, before you start eating, you sure have to make a blessing. The more svara he. You know what svara means? It's common sense. So the Pnei Yeshua, the very famous Pnei Yeshua, wants to say that, whenever the Gemara says a svara, it's a deraisa. Svara means, you know what svara means? It's common sense. The Mashal, the Gemara says, if a person says, I was Makadish my daughter, she's 12, a person could Makadish his daughter after around the 12, the Gemara says that he's Naaman. We have a pasuk. Why do you need a pasuk? It's common sense, since he could do it. So we trust what he said. The word svara normally means a deraisa, but the Rav clearly says the bracha Rishoina is only a D'Rabbanan. Now I want to tell you a very fascinating Shulchan Aruch that and he doesn't say it in the Seder, but the Shulchan Aruch he explains it. The Rambam, in the beginning of Hilchas Bracha, says, why do we make a bracha? Why do we make a bracha? So the Rambam says a very simple reason. There's a mitzvah to remember the Rebbeinu Shleim all the time. Since it's a mitzvah to remember the Rebbeinu Shleim all the time, so Chazal wants you to make a bracha. So where did the Rambam take this? The Gemara says, at the beginning of Ketzim Mavachim, Gemara says a kal v'chomer or pasik. The Rambam doesn't say no kal v'chomer, no pasik. The Rambam says, why do we make brachas? Because we gotta remember Hashem all the time. So the Rav says, Amoyre di Gechap. The Rambam learned it from the Torah. It says, Chayev Odom Levorach Mei Brachas B'Yoyim. A person has to make 100 brachas by day. You know that's a Chayev? Many people don't, but no. You're obligated to make 100 brachas every day. It's a D'Rabbanan Chayev. But D'Rabbanan? So the Gemara says, where he darshan, it says, Mu Hashem shoymel mcho. What is Hashem asking you? Al trikne mu elemeyu. So the Gemara says, you have to make 100 brachas. So the Rambam says, why do you want to, the Rambam says, so why do you have to make 100 brachas? It's a mitzvah to remember the Rebbeinu Shem all the time. So the Chazal made it 100 because mu is meyu. So when we made a bracha, so I remember the first time learning brachas, I still am astounded, my beard is white already, that we're busy lumdusing which bracha to make. But, the point we miss. You make a bracha to remember the Rebbeinu Shleim. That's the hardest thing. To remember the Rebbeinu Shalom. I always tell people we could do every chumrah on Pesach, and every chumrah you want, wear the right kapata, do the right thing. But to remember the Rebbeinu Shalom, that's the hardest thing for us to do. That's very difficult. But the Rambam says that's why you make a bracha every day. 100 brachas is to remember the Rebbeinu Shalom.
Do the brachas from davening?
Yeah. Shulchan Aruch makes a cheshbon, and usually Shabbos was short. Shabbos was short a few brachas. I didn't hear what? Yeah, it's Madraban. So I had a question. The rule is the Rabbanim never made a tikkun that we cannot accept. Remember we spoke about Al-Moshel, Pas Akim. Why did Pas Akim become less problematic? Chazal saw that, the people can't keep it. Bread, people, always were bakers, and it was very difficult for people to have their own bread. So Chazal became lenient. We don't want to impose halacha, which is impossible to keep. How many people, really pay attention to the brachas? You can say the bracha, but you have to. Looks like it's worth to make a bracha, even though your mind is who knows where, because for 1 second, you're remembering Hashem subconsciously. But davening, I happen to be a chassid, not a Chabad. But one of the things that Rabbi Shem Tov wanted is we should daven with our kishkas. So why did Chazal make us davening? And how many people really daven? It's worth it just 3 times a day. You're standing there, even though your mind is in every business and all over but davening, but at least you're standing in front of Hashem. So what did he say? You know what I compare it to tell it to myself, that when you're standing in davening and your mind is all over. Imagine you go out with your wife and you're sitting there and you're texting the whole time. You take a bang and bang you over the head. It took me out and then you're busy texting the whole time. What's going on? Standing under the Rebbeinu Shalom and our mind is all over the place. No, I didn't come over here. That's what kind of a meeting are you making with me? Okay. Anyway, so the Rav says, it's not the Rabbanim Masmachta B'Alma. That's like you nehana from this world. It's like you took something without permission from Hashem.
So the Rav is saying that the bracha before
is only a Rabbanim.
But the Neshua says Deraisa?
Bnei Shuman say it's a Deraisa.
And I was saying 2 things. He's saying it's a chiyuv on the person to remember God, and the thing is prohibited until you make a bracha.
Yeah, but it's still a Rabbanim. It's still a Rabbanim. That means what is an Igeya? Many people don't, the Torah don't realize if you have sufik, you made a bracha, not you're allowed to eat. It's sufik the bracha de l'kula. And you don't remember you made a moitzi. Yeah. Just don't remember. You don't remember you made a shakel. You're allowed to eat. Because self to self, it's only the Rabbanim.
If you started eating, you forgot to make a bracha.
No, you don't know if you made a bracha. You're in the middle of deep in conversation. Did I make a bracha? Didn't I make a bracha? So you're allowed to keep on eating. If you don't remember, it's a suffix, you go to kula. Right, but you don't have to not eat. I once was sitting, when I was young, with the big Talmud Chacham, and he said to someone, stop eating. Later, when I learned Halacha, I was surprised. There is a shit that way. We don't pass him that way. There's a mashal that says that way. We don't pass him that way. We pass him, the Rav says it later. Told him not to eat. We pass him, Sofa Bruchas, the kula, and you're allowed to keep on eating. If you don't remember you made a bracha, you're allowed to eat.
You shouldn't try to get only somebody else on the same bracha?
Yeah, if that's possible. I mean, yeah. No, not for Chayiv. Doesn't say any place in Chayiv.
So you could keep on eating.
Yes. Right.
He's advocating that.
Yes, you're allowed to keep on eating. Yes.
Suffolk bracha kula is only on Birchas Hanehenin, or?
Birchas are most not. But later on, if you're not sure, you have to bench. That's a suffix that I say. Birchas Hanehenin is a suffix lekula.
Stop the eating would be really, you should make another bracha, right? You don't make another bracha because it's only the Rabbanan. Now they say Hashem.
No. But because suffix bracha is lekula. Finish. Yeah, it's a suffix the Rabbanan.
But normally, if it wouldn't be harmful to say another bracha, you just say it. The problem is it's a deraisa to say another bracha.
Well, that's another. That's a big machlekes at Rishonim. That's another big machlekes. The Rambam and Tosis. That's a Reisa not. But Chazal said, don't make another bracha. So bracha is a kula. Machlekes is like sisu. Is a Gemara said, let me explain what he's saying. The Gemara says, if you make a bracha on vain, yoyvel sisu. So the Tosis learns, the Rambam learns only a smach the balma. Tosis takes it serious. So machlekes at Rishonim.
So making a bracha again would be ever a deraisa, correct?
That's a machlekes.
Oh, so therefore.
But anyway, it's not therefore. The Chazal anyway said, if you're suffix, you don't need and don't, you should not. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, we later learn you have to bench. Because it's the Raisa.
Even if you're ever deraisa by saying.
You're not over. Because we have to bench, you're not over.
But your rabbi friend who told the man who leading the Saad,
It was not right.
you know, he's correct, because he obviously knew that guy didn't say Rucky.
No, he was Mesupik. He didn't know.
How does he know that?
He asked, Rabbi, we were young, we were teenagers. He asked that, I don't not sure I made a bracha.
So what's the downside from the person stop eating?
No, there's no downside. But you don't have to. I have a rule. In Halacha, I only teach the Halacha. Chumras, you do on your own. Because we know what happens when you teach Chumras the Halacha, then everything goes thrown out. My policy for yourself, you could do whatever Chumra you want. This is what it says. I always tell people it's better to know what you're doing is right and you're doing is wrong, and then to fool yourself, there's a tatum. You know what I mean? I have to say, listen, it's wrong, but one day I'll get to it, do it the right way. It's much healthier this way.
We're going to get into like medications and things like that.
Forget me at Hashem, there's a whole... Okay. All right, let's move on. Base. Kalach lemashkim bevarchim brucha kaloles lekamaminum. All food days a brucha a inclusive. You say in English? I say a brucha kal. Generic. Beide priaduma the chomi perisuritz. You have different fruits and vegetables. You make a by priaduma on all of them. By priyetz chol perisel. You're sitting down and it's tu b'shvat. You make one by pre-weights on the fruit. Shahakni avoid shakolach mashkin. This is generally. You can make a genetic bracha from anything. Chutz min hayayim apas sheyayin etzim echal peru se'ilah levuchal by peagufen. Wine, we took it out from fruit tree and gave it a special bracha. You know what translation by peagufen means? Gufen is the name of the tree. It's a vine. The word gufen does not mean wine. The word gufen is the vine. V-I-N-E, not W. It's a vine. So it's Beire Pri Agufen. So it's very interesting. They made a special bracha. So listen to the wording of the Rav. He says, really, this should have been a Beire Pri weights. But we gave it. Why should wine be by pre-weights? It's a shahakal. He says we took wine, instead of making by pre-weights, we designated a special bracha, because wine is very chashiv. But the reason is, this is very, very problematic, what I'm going to tell you now. The reason is, the Gemara says that 90%, still today days, 90 more, I once looked it up many years ago, over 95% of the grapes is for wine. So you guys are quick at Google. So look it up. How much of the of oranges are used for juice? Someone told me it's almost 85% of the oranges. And it should be by pre-aids. Majority today. Look, orange. How much orange? Take a look. How much oranges? How much percentage of the oranges are used for juice? So it should come out that orange juice you would have to make a bayre pre-huates.
Yes, that's such a good.
I don't know why. This has been bothering me 30 years. Look, why do we make a geffen? Why? No.
That's the way the fruit is eaten.
I start again. Let me start all over again. This is based on the Gemara, so I'm just saying from the Rabbi, this is based on the Gemara. It says like this. Really, let's start this way. If by mistake you took wine, you said by pre-weights, yotza. You know, b'di'ei b'di'yoytza.
Whatever saying it.
We're still going to see yoytza. Chazal said we want to give wine a special bracha, since wine you make kiddush, havdalah, berachas nesuim, berachas erison, berachas, it's very choshev, so we gave it a special bracha instead of eitz, we gave it a piagafen. So really, why should you make a pri eitz on wine? So Rashi says, because the majority of the fruit of grapes is made to squeeze out. If the majority is not made for that, when later learn, you don't make a bracha. Let's say potatoes, you make it into a liquid. They learned since the majority of potatoes is not made that way, so if you made it, you make shackle. Here, the majority of the grapes are made to drink, so you should make a pri eitz. Instead of pri eitz, we elevate it to pri agafen. The Gemara, it's Gemara Rasha. It's a Gemara, nothing to talk. There's no. So it should come out that oranges nowadays you should make a pri eitz.
I don't remember where I heard this, but I thought that maybe it was 1,000 each. If the oranges were grown to make orange juice, then you should make.
But it's grown.
Eights.
It is grown.
But if they're grown for just stop eating.
No, it's grown for it's not only that, it's a whole trick how they grow it and which type of oranges.
No, but I guess his point is, if I have an orange in my yard, and it's not there for juicing.
No, they're right.
Fruits.
But I'm talking about juice.
And they wouldn't taste good. They wouldn't taste
81%.
Huh?
81%.
Yeah?
81%. What?
81%
Of the country, or is it of the world?
all are in the world.
The world.
Yes. Only, you know who drinks the most orange juice? You know who drinks the most orange juice? We Americans. In Brazil.
In the world.
Yeah, listen, Zaysta.
Over here it says more than 70% of oranges harvested in the U.S. are processed for oranges.
Yeah, and the rest, 80%. And you know where the Brazil oranges come? Comes here. They can't afford it in Brazil. You're Brazilian. They can't afford it there. It's true. So someone told me that in Brazil they have whole orchards. There you can't get orange juice there. It's too expensive. Everything comes here. So we should say eggs. I don't know.
Why don't we?
So we should
I
say
don't know.
H on orange.
Pomegranates.
And they put the sago in Hagefen.
He's asking just a question of dictum.
That's-
Hagofen, Hagefen. He's asking that.
Well, how does Chabad say a geffen?
Yeah, well, the English says Hagofen.
The Sephardim say Hagefen.
The Sfardim say a geffen.
I don't know. There's Nekudos
This is
in
what? This is a Sfardim? What is this?
Some clearly made the goodness, so he's asking why he made the
I don't know. Geffen, they say. Ashkenazi say geffen. It's a machlokes in the poskim. It's among Avram how to say.
I understand why Rashi had to come onto the whole. We make a special bracha on wine because most grapes are used for wine. Wine
Gemara-
is for drinking in and of itself.
No, that's not good enough. But the Gemara it's Mavur, that's a Gemara. You have to see the Gemara. That's right. In the Gemara, this is discussed. The Gemara comes to this discussion. So this kasha is a very difficult. I try not to drink orange juice. I don't want to. When I drink only middle of a meal.
What about orange juice that is made from concentrate?
So
Let's say orange juice really should be a 8.
So it doesn't-
But if you're adding water to it,
that's what it doesn't make a difference.
Huh?
That doesn't make it. You know the grape juice is also made from concentrate.
no. Kedem grape juice is not from concentrate.
Yeah.
For sure.
Don't believe labels.
All right. No, I'm just saying that if that would be an answer, then maybe that would be the
No, it doesn't
reason.
help. It doesn't help because you add water proportion. How much thing they make it a good taste. They take out the water and you just put it on other water. That's all they do.
Right.
The reason they take out the water, it's hard to ship. They want to ship from Brazil. They want to ship from New York grape juice from California to New York. It's incredibly expensive. All they do is just take out this, what is it called, H2O. Take out the water. They have a way to separate it, and then they get to New York and they add water again. That's all they do.
How about
Olive
olive oil?
oil, we will later see also make a baby, please. That's the biggest right. Thank you for reminding me. Olive oil, the Gemara says if you drink olive oil, you have to make a baby pH. We'll later learn it. So no one drinks olive oil, it's you drink it in a certain way because olive oil is dangerous. But if you drink it for a sore throat, they used to drink olive oil. Anyway, so you make a baby, you hear olive oil, according to the Gemara, you're supposed to make a baby pH. Not you drink raw olive oil. Raw olive oil is, you make sure it's not good, it's not taste well, but ready to get to it to see.
Is all of this sweet for olive oil?
Yes, exactly. Mamish, exactly. So if olive oil and grapes, so oranges, you should make a baby.
What about apples?
That's not it's not ripe apples. They make apple juice, but still apples.
Does it make a difference because over time, cookie amal, orange juice was not something normal, so they didn't. You know,
They didn't have. They never had oranges. Yeah, they never had oranges. Doesn't make a difference. That doesn't change.
No wine since the beginning of time.
Yeah, but that shouldn't change. That in a brachas we find that doesn't change.
No, I'm not saying grapes never change. Grapes
Yeah, it doesn't. It's true, but in halacha that doesn't change. We'll see in brachas. You always talk about it nowadays. You do this and now it's changed. We'll see later.
Just to be clear, if the majority of olives were not used for oil, but were used to eat, let's say.
You wouldn't make a bay priates.
Huh?
Yes, you would not make a bay
Then
priates
you would
on
not
it.
make eggs on the oil.
Right.
So
You make a
it
shackle.
goes with the times.
Goes with the times.
Just looking up now, cranberry juice is also the same thing.
And you say pomegranate?
What about coffee?
Yeah, cranberry juice, no one eats even. Cranberries you eat? I never saw anyone eat cranberries.
No, they have cranberries, dry cranberries.
Yeah, dry, but most people, cranberries made from juice.
Jar form that dried cranberry sauce.
Yeah, but it's very little. That's true, cranberries made to the juice. You should make, but the cranberries, I was told, I'm not an expert on drink, it's told they don't give you pure cranberries. There's more water because it's very acidy. If you take cranberries and squeeze it out, there's no way you could drink it. So it's bottled, they add who knows how much water to it. Orange juice is, but they do an orange juice, let me repeat this again. All they do is orange juice, is instead of shipping orange juice with its water, they take out the water, so they ship the concentrate, and then they add water again to it. That's why it says an orange juice not made from concentrate. It's not true. It's made from concentrate. Since they put back what they took out, they're all right. It's not made from concentrate. I asked the guy who gives us on orange juice. He says, "Are you kidding? What do you mean? No. It's made from concentrate. No, it's meat from concentrate. They're allowed to write down. They're allowed to write on it because it has whole halachas. But the goyim, the sheker has a halacha. It's the whole. Today the world is one. It used to be by the country. Today.
Certain foods are going to be used more like.
But the bottom line is here in America, 70%.
Like in America, for example, pomegranates in America will be more than 50% for juice. In other countries, they use it for anything.
Yeah. Pomegranate has ups and downs. It was very popular a few years ago. Now someone told me, I have a lady who works for the pomegranate, told me it became very not popular. I don't know. The fad dried up, she tells me. They thought that this is the bullet for Allah Machlis. You know what I mean? What?
There are more people drinking pomegranate juice, more pomegranate juice than people eating pomegranate stuff.
Yeah, no.
He's saying 70%.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
pomegranate.
Yes.
Yeah, even though it's not popular, the majority are really pomegranate.
Okay, everybody say.
Only coffee. Oranges and this coffee.
So coffee, what about coffee?
Everybody say, let's move on. Chitz men yain va pas. Everybody say, she yain it sioi Michal Peres in wurde gebeupt. Go von a pas tzi Michal Peres ule wurde gemoit zelach menudets. Have to make a moitzi on bread.
Instead of making?
It's a bay priadomo. Michal shehimin dogon, veloy osse pas, you did not make into bread, kamin tavshile shekemach. You made a food from, you didn't make it into zainis, into a bagel. You made cereal, but we have all our fancy cereals. Dice is a cereal. Abish ein in krum lechem. We come kesh mit chashiva shiken amuzen vorchen beidem in the zainis. That's why almost all the cereals you have to make them zainis. Most of the cereals, if it has one of the 5 grains, you have to make, even though it's just a minority where they learn, we're going to see this again later, you have to make a mezainis. So if a cereal is made, so even though many of the cereals you pay attention to, if your wife is not health-minded, then you'll have it. Many of the cereals is the first ingredient is sugar. They don't write sugar anymore. They write some other fancy word which someone told me means sugar. But upon them, the cereals, if they put any of the grains into it, you have to make a mezainis. The zainis does not become bottle.
What about like granola bars also?
The granola bars is mezainis. They put the oats.
They say they put oats.
No, you can see it. No.
Yeah, but they're not
They're baking it.
That's so. They mix it and they bake it. It's a Mazainis.
But it's not granola?
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a whole form. They're not hadoma?
No, why should it be Adoma? They made it into a.
I thought, Rabbi, I thought you said with the granola bars or something, the oats are not cooked. So that's why you...
It's raw oats.
Yeah. It's like,
Someone told me. Someone told me it's not raw.
I thought we said that in the
They're not ground.
Not me.
A granola bar is definitely
I was told it's. Look, you can look it up today. Today, everything you look it up on Google. It used to be the good old days when I used to look up something as a Kriyas Yamsef. We'll get to it. I just want to say, I was told clearly, because granola, that they cook it. First, the way they cook it, they don't want to be sued anyways. They cook it and they clean it and then they dry it and they mix it into a mix. That's what I was told. I have someone who gives the hashgacha with the OU. I'll ask him how they do it. Someone in my neighborhood. Yeah, pasta is sicher Mazainis. Soon we'll get to pasta soon, if I say. Anyways.
Cheerios has to be part of the visual. What happens with visual parts?
not Eulash Ashukam Malachim.
Well, let's not get into Shulchan Malachim over here. It ain't Shulchan Malachim. Let's bring it to the United States.
It's a whole different section.
Okay, it's a state dinner. But for breakfast, when they come in, that's what the definition.
Anyways, and let me just tell you. Let me just tell you, a pass doesn't have to be Oil HaShulchan Malachim. Anyways,
What?
pass does not have to be Oil HaShulchan Malachim. So the question is, Cheerios. That's a question is. The problem is, what is Cheerios? Is Cheerios really just a dough which they bake and make into small? Or Cheerios is not even a dough. I remember asking, I used to think always that Cheerios is made from a dough, and I think asked Rabbi Eichenblatt, who also checked, he once went to the Fusay, he said it's made totally not with a dough. It's not like it's a dough and you bake it and then you make it into small pieces. It's a whole different process. So I remember the way he told me. What? Cheerios is made out of oats, but they don't make it into a dough like we think. Like, there are people have to have, there are people allergic to flour, the wives make oat bread. If it's a dough and you bake it, then it's pas. It's like a pas. Pretzels is bread. Yeah, it could be has a tzudas pas. But the problem, I was told that they don't do it. It's not a dough. They dry it and they crush it. And never was a dough. And
When you see those boxes of Cheerios with the special sticker of like a Kemach.
that's just to get your money. That they want you to pay $1 more.
That's Geneva.
That's Geneva.
So you can make parnasa, you can make parnasa, you can make anything from the 5 grains, right? And as long as it's never turned into a dough,
Yes, there's no issue of passes are correct.
there's the issue of
But bishul is not a problem. It's not Oil Shulchan Malachim. And pas, it's not pas. None of the cereals are pas. None of them. Make a Mazainis because anything that has inside the Chameshis Aminim, we'll get on later, you make a Mazainis.
What about Twizzlers?
Twizzlers? What's Twizzlers? I let licorice, you have to make a way Mazainis. I was told it has flour in it. It has flour. And it has flour, Twizzlers, you have to make a Mazainis. I do not.
Rice Krispies.
Rice Krispies. Who is this? Who said this? What's grape nuts? And he says it's bread? Today, you go on the internet, they'll tell you exactly how they're doing it. Find out.
They say what it looks like, but I didn't understand that.
It has to be a dough. Has to be a dough. What does the Google say?
It says Moshe Feinstein says you could say either Mazonos or Adana.
On what?
On granola.
Oh, granola.
Yeah, well, either doesn't make sense.
Starcase website.
Yeah, okay. No, don't say that. No, you're not saying that. Yeah, so you have to know if you.
There's a lot of sites here that say people say Adana, people say Mazonos.
But I thought you looked up how you make, what's his name? I thought you looked up Cheerios, how you make Cheerios. Okay. Birch. Everybody said, let's move on.
I think, Rabbi, to that point, there's a suffix of bracha, like what to make, whether it's mezainis or hadam or something like that.
You can make either one. Because mezainis is like a shahakol for mezainis. You know, it's not a bracha levatola. So you can really make either one. After bracha, right, after bracha, and the granola doesn't have enough, it doesn't have a gezais of oats. Has gezais of oats.
That's how many you eat. He eats 8.
No. On the package, it says 128 grams.
The whole package 28 grams. It's not pure oats.
What else is it?
Sugar, nuts, starches. Look at the ingredients. I don't know. Take a look at the thing. You see, there's a lot of other things. And then you have to make a lamechia.
How do we measure if a bowl of Cheerios has enough oats in there?
Cheerios is pure oats, I was told, and sugar.
Pure oats?
Yeah, it's and sugar. That's what I was told. First ingredient is oats, and they add just sugar. It's just Cheerios, I was told, is mostly really oats, not like any other things. Other cereals, you have everything mixed in. Okay. I know, I want to just say a cute thing. I once asked the manager of the Ralph's in my neighborhood, how much brands of cereals do you have? I was curious. You know, people stand there, and when children were young, and they used to this. She said, she doesn't know, I should come next week. Come next week, she tells me 128.
She's including Ralph's brand.
I don't know, I'm just studying what she told me. 128.
Rabbi, tasting here. It says the Cheerios are made, they take the dry ingredients, includes the oats, they mix it with water, and they make a raw batter.
Batter, yeah, but how does the batter? It turns dough?
I'm assuming if you mix the oats and other ingredients, the sugar or whatever else there is,
Turns dough.
with water, it turns into dough.
Yeah, Rabbi, I have to ask. Rabbi Achmar told me it doesn't turn into dough.
It's only a pound
Pass. Yeah.
And then they're put through a drying process. They're never really. They're not cooked.
It's not cooked.
It's not cooked.
Oh, maybe this is what he told me. It's not cooked. If it's not cooked, then it's not passed neither.
Drying process, and then they dry it out. And they
Oh, maybe that's what he meant. It's not cooked. I remember he told me something that it's not cooked. Then it's not cooked. Then it's not done. Okay. Chol shehi memin dugan. Everybody says something as dugan v'le asa pas community of shei kem chadais apishen ikrum lechem kom yesh mechashivus muzayim v'orchem b'yim min mezainis. Okay. Now it says birch ala pas b'yim min mezainis is yutza. This question people have asked me by mistake. Made by the mezainis on bread. Yesh cholken suffik brochas loken shoyz bar. So what does the Rav say over here? If you made it, even though it's a machlokes, you can keep on eating. Even though one opinion said you're not yoitza. You made on bread, by the min mezainis not yoitza.
If you said mezainis on pizza, you can continue eating.
Yeah, but you have it. Suffik brochas loken. Suffik brochas loken. But now we're going to learn Birchas Hanehenin. The Rav holds that pizza you gotta wash for a mashal. You see that? The Rav is very machman on pizza. According to Shulchan Seder, the Rav pizza you must wash. There's no ifs, ands, and buts.
Does it have to be like a pizza that you're eating for a meal?
No. Mefurish not. He
There's a
says.
restaurant here that does a dessert pizza.
I'm just saying Mefurish. He says not that way. Mefurish, later learn.
Like the old kosher, just to make sure you're not sure you made it. You still have to bench.
You have to bench, yes. For sure. Benching has nothing to do.
But you get to go back and remain mistakes.
There's only some pizza, you still have to bench.
But for sure,
The bench.
Bracha you have to do. I want.
Birchas Hanehenin.
Yes, it's
But the pizza, it's not
can't make a design knowing that once I'm done with the
You have pizza, you're Chabad, you have to wash and bench.
Unless you made a design first time.
By mistake, doesn't make a difference.
Not a mistake, you don't go wash after?
You have to wash, yes.
Let's say you make a design and start eating pizza, right?
And you realize you made a
And you
mistake.
realize you don't make another bracha, you don't make a
Yeah, but you have to wash.
You have to go wash.
He's right. You understand what he just said? You know, I didn't understand what he's saying. But you don't make a moitzi. No, but of course you have to go wash. I thought you. I'm not saying that.
So if you're not Chabad, you don't have to wash the pizza.
Now let me start again. Pizza, according to the Rab, we later learn, is called bread. You have to wash like you wash any other bread. You have to make a maitzi. You got a bench on a kazayis like any other bread. Period. But there's a no. The Taz doesn't say it that way. The Taz and the Mishnah doesn't pass me like the Taz.
Most people said
I'm just saying that that's laziness, pure laziness. The Taz and the truth is the Kitzer also said, but almost all the Achronim.
Why in Israel do they, in most places,
It's because otherwise the pizza shop be out of business. Why do my children? I remember when my children's friends would come over. You gotta wash. Forget the pizza. Got a bench. You have young children. You should get older. I gotta. I'm saying that it's just what children love. Is it's just have to wash and to bench. It's like. Yes, if you make it sweet, but usually it's never sweet enough. Oh, they let it get to it. They put juice into it, and that in Yiddish we say it's gefopte masses. They put in diluted apple juice, and the reason is because I asked the pizza shop. He says if you really put apple juice, it doesn't taste well. Just try it yourself. You making a pizza shop? Try to put in the pizza dough apple. Milk, yeah. Non-fat milk. Yeah, milk is better. But milk you have to put. That will later see. But how much milk you have to put in to make it a mezainis? Yeah, but pizza, everyone knows melchiks. Pizza schreit, screams.
The vegan pizza.
The what?
The vegan pizza.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. Pizza, everyone knows is melchiks.
So then it would be okay.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Okay.
When I was in Bachar, they made it clear there wasn't the Zionist bread. There was not one bakery that would have the Zionist. They wouldn't get the Badas Hechsher. There wasn't the Zionist bagels. When I was in Yeshiva, there wasn't. If there was a thing, the Zionist, they took up the Hechsher. That was in the 1980s.
That's not true. There's no such thing as the Zionist bread. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Used to be the airline meals always had the roll.
Yeah, but that's according to the Rav and the Mishnah Berurah, that's wrong. But anyway, we'll get to it. Boy, Baruch Hashem does not to learn here, so let's move on.
I've heard they do it in Israel. They do it like with juice. They do not stress when they have arufat mitzvah. לא להחטיא את האנשים. So the people will not. Some people they're not religious, so they won't have to do a motzi and all that. So they give them the bread. I've heard that.
Okay, let's move on to what we say.
Pizza dough and basil berry have.
Birch al peiris ilan u'boisai. Let's move on. Birch al peiris ilan by priaduma. On a tree, you made it by a pri yotze. By mistake, or many of the fruit that you're not sure, we'll get to it later. There are fruits that are not big machloikas. We'll later get to it. So, a banana tree. That's the best mushroom. Banana grows on a tree. Here in California, you see it. If you know how a banana tree looks. In our neighborhood, on Penseri, there was a guy who used to climb a, what? Right, it's a regular tree. The thing is that once the bananas grow, if you don't cut it off, no new bananas are going to come. You need a new shoot from the ground. But it comes by itself. You don't have to plant a new shoot. So that was a machlekes in the Rishonim, if you make it by Pri Aduma or by Pri Eitz. It's a machlekes in the Bahag, in the Balatoises. We say, make it by Pri Aduma. So banana is a suffix because the roots stay and comes out a new shoot, like strawberries. Strawberries you don't have to plant every year. If anyone knows about that, it comes out a new shoot from the ground. The old one dries up. So that's what strawberries is we make it by Pri Aduma.
But you make it by eights, you don't make
By eights, you don't make another bracha.
What about melons? There are melons
Melon is a by Pri Aduma. Doesn't I think melon have to plant every year? Is that true? I'm not.
But it's not on a tree, a melon. A melon's growing on
Yeah, but besides on a tree, there's a banana. Yoso, the banana thing. The reason why the Machlekes Rishonim was because that shoot that came out, the bananas, is not going to produce any more bananas. So if you cut it off, then new shoot is going to come out, and then you have new banana. But you don't have to plant it again. So that was the Machlekes and the Rishonim. So we go and we say by Pri Aduma, and all these words.
But, when I was living on Canfield, we planted tomatoes, and for 3 years in a row, tomatoes grew, but, without replanting, but it's still growing from the ground.
Yeah, you know what? You know why? Because it's going to grow not just 3 years, many years.
Right.
Because it dries up. Did you notice? Did you pay attention to the tomatoes?
Not very closely.
It dries up. Those things dry up, and the new things come out. And the reason it didn't grow after 3 years because you didn't prune it.
So you're saying, one second, so just to be clear, you're saying if the vine remains from year to year the same vine,
Then you
it would
make
be
eights.
okay.
But the vine dries up, and a new vine comes out. Okay. Do you know that?
That's how you define a tree according to Halacha.
Yeah.
Something that stays there regardless how it looks.
Right. That's the Machlekes Rishonim. Right. Do you know that tomatoes is from the Newfound land? This comes from America. They didn't know what tomatoes was. Not tomatoes, not chocolate, and potatoes, and turkey, and corn. So that's why many of these things you don't find in the early Achronim. Chocolate will get led to in the Halacha. Why? No one knows why you make a shackle in chocolate. Should be eights. But they'll get to it. Should be eights. And my humble opinion is because you see the first time chocolate was introduced to Europe was bought in South America. They made it in South America. They made it in the drink. It was Central America, where I forgot which Indian thing. They used to drink chocolate. And so when it came to Europe, it was a drink. But then they figured out to solidify it, so it became a chocolate bar. Really, you should make a by Pri weights. No one knows why we don't make a by Pri weights. Coffee is not. Coffee.
Have chocolate and orange juice makes no brachas and you're covered up. Why would coffee be different than the orange juice?
Our coffee is it's not. The coffee is not the fruit that you're squeezing out. The main thing is water. You're adding a little taste to the water. As a chassid, you know what I teach chassidim? I tell chassidim, coffee is amtokas adin. You take water, which is, then you add dark color, and you make it dark. Then you add sugar, which is white, and then you add milk that's white. So you may add white to darkness, and you make amtokas adinim over here. All the time. You take coffee which is bitter and they put a little sugar to sweeten it. What's going on over here? Either you want bitter, that's what we are. We don't like bitter, we don't like sugar. But anyways, coffee, the thing is water, just a little bit you're adding. But mashking the juice, you squeezed out the whole fruit.
Just based on that thought, if you take the frozen juice and you just scoop out a little bit and put it in mixed water, like the frozen orange juice, then you should make a shot color.
That's true, but if you add the exact same amount of water, which what they take out from it, doesn't make sense that you should do the bracha.
What about a shot of espresso? Just like pure espresso shot.
It's still water. It's water. If you're asking, it is water. Sure.
So coconut water is GRS, right? Like if you drink it directly from
Yeah, well, no one drinks. It's not made to drink. People drink it.
They drink it.
Yeah.
now they even pack it.
What if you eat a coffee bean? Like I eat coffee beans sometimes.
It's butler daita. It's a kolodom.
Huh?
The shalocha means the butler daita. No one eats coffee beans. It's not the norm. You don't make a bracha. Make a shackle. Okay. Berech al Perus Ilan, Bay Piaduma, you make al Perus Ilan, Bay Piaduma, Bay Sai, Yutza. Aber Berech al Priaduma, Bay Prietza Yutza. If you take something that's you take potato, you make it by Prietza, you're not Yutza. You say, well, kill him. In Berech Shakan, you be Yutza, fill a pas v'yain. By mistaken bread and wine, you made a shahakal, you also yoitza. Lefikach, kol pri, She's sufik loy in priweit so priaduma, uber by priaduma. If you're not sure, you make a by priaduma. The ene klei mahi, you have no idea what it is. Murach shahakol niya b'dvuroi. Cheshin stop the glim mitzad din machas mechloikes aposkim. Or you don't know it's a mechloikes aposkim. We're going to learn in brachas, even though the majority hold one way, all you need is one shit to hold the other way around. We make a shahakol. That's how we follow. A son, no.
Someone's eating adama, potato.
And you're not yoitza.
And you know, eating the potato, we say something will not say.
No. He was not yoitza. He has to make a new bracha. Yeah, because a potato is not eitz. See, if you make on a banana, you would that would be a big problem, because of machloikis. Yeah, it's but on potatoes or anything like that, the melons. So and this is very important. This is Avram. After you learned, we decided. Can't go make shahakal. Find out. It's or check it on Google. You know, as someone asked me, someone asked me this question other day. I told them that about Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. I said the Rabbi Rebbe wanted people to learn the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and I remember other Litvish Yeshiva also. So a guy asked him, Yankov Kamenetsky, but the Kitzur is not. He says, you think his psak is not a good psak? It's better than not knowing anything. You know what I mean? At least you have a psak of a good ladon. You mean, today, I'm saying, if you don't know, Google the bracha. Google it. Look, you Google up and you said, which website was it you just said?
Starkey.
The
Halacha seems to contradict what you just said in Daled. Because here he's saying that it's only to the Eved. If you don't know, then you can't make a shahakal. But at the end of Daled, he said that if you don't even know what the food is, if you have something in front of you, you don't know what it is.
Yeah, but then you did all your checking. No, if you did, can't find what it is. Very often you get these foods, you have no idea what it is.
You don't have to eat it.
Yeah, no. There's nothing to find out. But it's you have. If people have shown me things with ingredients, I can't even read the words in English. They make it so obscure that you shouldn't understand what you're reading.
It's not sugar.
Yeah, probably it's a bunch of chemicals, and they don't want to say it's chemical.
Find out, even if you're in the middle of eating, should you make a second bracha after shahakal?
No, once you made a shaka, you ate some.
Even though you know the
Right. Okay. I'm almost sure we passing with David the Yotza. Some chayks are Shiurim, even though Rav the Shiurim hold that way, but the Yotza with David. You know that banana was a food that they had no idea the Ashkenazim what it is. It's not from the new world, but they had no idea. The Aruch HaShulchan writes, the Chabad says on banana maker by Piyaduma, and he writes another food. I don't know why he says. So I remember Svardi told me that, the Chabad says a word. That word in Arabic is banana. Kumas? Banana. They didn't know. I mean, the Ashkenazim it doesn't grow. Banana grows only in a very warm climate. So they never had bananas. Okay. Hoylefuna pre-weights. You had both of them, pre-aduma, pre-weights. Berech tchila a pre-aduma. Yeah, you had in front of you, you had eights and aduma. He said, berech tchila a pre-aduma, tzurech lachse volech pre-weights. That's, if you have in front of a bowl of nuts and melon pieces. Kilo nifta bebrucha bay pre-aduma, erik sheberech ulav, on it, understand? Very simple. If you have in front of you eights in adoma, you made it by pri adoma, not yotze on the eights. Bemed would mean bevorich stam. I made a brocha right here. I made a pri adoma. Abel in schavelifte begam pri eights. This guy was an oibechochom. He had a mind. He said, "I'm going to make a pri adoma, and I'm going to have in mind everything," but you're not supposed to. Supposed to make out of eights or eights, but he had a mind. Yotze afiloi pri eights a dying lefonav geshabirich elish acha kachavi lefonav. You later we're going to learn a very, very important halacha. So many people are confused. I'm eating. They brought other food. I don't want to go into it now. It's too long, but we're going to get later to the halacha. So he made a bayi pri adoma right now, and he had a mind knowing they're going to bring in for him eights, and he had a mind the Pri Aduma should go on both. You're Yoitze, and you shouldn't have done it, but you are Yoitze, and you don't have to make a new bracha, he's saying. V'yesh cholkem azer, you're not Yoitze. V'omen in some chayks Rishonim, this is. He says, "V'yesh cholkem azer v'omen shefen ischaben it the berucha by Pri Aduma, as Pri Yoitze, hamanich v'lo Yoitze. You're not Yoitze. That means, even it's in front of me, I made it by Pri Aduma. And out of mind, you're not Yoitze, it's lachzuvach by Pri Yoitze. V'lo omri, shebirich ha Pri Yoitze, by Pri Aduma, Yotzei lebiryevet. He's saying, see, the Gemara says a Mishnah. The Mishnah says, if I made a bayre Pri Aduma on the 8th, I was Yoitze. This opinion holds only if I made it on this fruit. I took hold of an apple, I made it by Pri Aduma, I was Yoitze. But if I went and said on an apple and a melon, and I had a mind, by Pri Aduma on the apple, you're not Yoitze, you have to make it by Pri Yoitze. It's only your Yoitze because we don't want the bracha to be made in vain. Because if not, it's going to be in vain. But Yoitze, the bracha is going to go on this. So then you have to make it by Pri Yoitze.
So if you eat a second apple?
Even that apple, according to this opinion, not second, and this apple itself, you have to make it by Pri Yoitze, this opinion also. You'll be in vain. The fikach al maaseh zu der lesen soll die schaven le oilom lifte by priese bruch by tuma krele wurde der hakel. So the Rav says you should never do this. You sit down, don't make it by Pri Aduma and say I have a mind. You want to make it by Pri Aduma, you can make it by Pri Aduma, but you don't have a mind that's going on the 8th, because according to many Rishonim, you're not Yoitze. Well, that's a big machlokas. We'll later learn. The Rabbi is saying, don't we have to make a by Pri Yoitze before? Well, there's a machlokas. If you like the Pri Aduma much better than the 8th, it's a big machlokas. The Rambam holds that you make what you like. And we later see, we are just mach maybe shitta, but there are many Rishonim hold. You go after what you like best. That's the bracha you make first.
What if it's not a preference of food, but it's rather a preference of order of food? You know, like many people like to have a salad and then a fruit afterwards. You know what I mean?
Then for sure you don't have, you make a salad first. That's for sure. If
even if they're both sitting in front of you.
Even both sitting in front, that's the good thing about it. I've heard this mistake. If you want to eat it later, right? Not now. There's no gedima. Gedima says I want to eat both of them now. But if I don't want to eat now this, I want to eat after eat the vegetables.
Salad,
right, for sure.
There.
Right. If you don't want to eat it right now, there's no din kedima. Kedima is only if you want to eat it now. You have no intentions to eat it now. There's no. Okay. Al kolach lemashkin. This is one of the things people are very, very mezalzel. You drink and eat, you don't make a... See, I tell people like in America, either eat all day or you diet all day. Someone told me in my shul, I forgot how much billion-dollar business a diet it is. It's an unbelievable amount because we are so blessed. So either we chew all day long or we diet all day long. If you're a girl, you're a lady, probably diet all day long. But if you're a boy, you know, you don't know how to sit. But I know Bayern Nefushes is a big zilzal. People don't make a Bayern Nefushes. They eat and drink a coffee. Ask a guy, drank a coffee while he's driving. Did you make a Bayern Nefushes? You're drinking water. Did you make a Bayern Nefushes? Yeah, I'm just saying, it's a thing you got to get used to. Got to get into your system. Okay? שבר חלי בוי ברכס המוזן, חיץ מזיים מיני שמשתר בהם ארצו, שן חיתו, סוירו, גפן, תינו, רימן, זייס, ותמורה, you know, with this figs, olives, dates, שבר חלי בוי חכמן גימל, ברוכס. חן על היין, היו יצא מן הגפן, wine that's made out of grapes, make a special bracha. The kisman, I special wrote it down. There's always a translation, I get confused with this. No, not millet. Kisman is spelled. Shifon is rye. Yishibali shul is oats.
Kisman is spelled
Kisman is spelled. And Shibbolei Shul is oats, and Shipon is rye. The Chamesh is meaning, not the Shivas Aminim is on the Chita side. The oats is Shibbolei Shul. Just very, very important to tell you why there are many people who, it's getting worse and worse. Children are more allergic as, there are so many, I grew up, I never heard anyone allergic to anything. Today, they're allergic to this, and I have 2 grandchildren allergic to that, allergic to that. So I know people call me about Pesach. There are people who eat spelt matzah. Sure. You can highly, I have a lady who called me, she only eats 1 kazayis. And there's old matzah people on it. It's very, very.
It's very expensive.
It's very over.
Yeah.
And people allergic to, I have this lady tells me she only eats 1 kazayis because she gets really sick. So the second day Pesach, I told you she's not mechuyev to eat. First day Pesach, she eats 1 kazayis. A matzah of spelt, I forgot the oats, she managed, even that, but it's better than. But it's chamesh zaminim. You can make
1/10 of people are allergic to wheat.
1/10.
Yeah.
Today always was.
No, not today.
Only in America. American disease.
Yeah, but I think allergic is maybe a chemical.
They thank God these foods.
And they say you're not tolerant of wheat or whatever. They're not allergic.
Okay, the Kisman. Amazonas.
No, which proper friend? Is that what
Alamechim.
If it's bread?
If you make a cereal, oat cereal is very popular. Oat cereal, make alamechim.
But if it's bread, it's bread.
It's bread, it's bread. So on spelled bread, you can buy old bread. Spelled, you can buy in the health stores old bread. You can buy Ezekiel bread.
What is that?
That's alamechim. That's called ein gimel because one bracha it includes all 3. Yeah, so you make a mezainis. Besides chita sa'ira is in the Torah. Sa'ira is mentioned in the Torah is barley, chita is wheat. And there's other 3 which is not mentioned, which is also. Right.
The majority of barley is used for beer.
Doesn't make change it. Doesn't change. Yeah. Not on no, because it's a drink. You take out the thing. But it's mostly we later get to it. And the times of the Tosfos, believe it or not, beer used to have chunks of barley in it. Tosfos says it wants to make a mezainis, but nowadays all is a drink. Something that's a drink, and you take out the essence. You know, you take out then you make a.
If you have orange juice with pulp, even if you remember we said earlier that maybe it's a backyard, that's for sure.
Okay, Kisman, we chitish boy shishibis. Oire v'hanekru du gestam b'chomokim. They called grains. So the Rav Ches. Ein v'bachem boydi b'mezoines ala du gam le'achmi erik sh'oicha v'derech ha'chirusoi. The normal way of eating. To go on tafshel anasa mekemach. From the flour, the normal. Oy du gen atzmo shenech shnali gimel v'yoyses bashe b'mayen or b'shar mashkin. Zianikras daisa b'chomokim. That's what they used to make cereal. Used to take the kernel, and you know there are wheat germ. It's called wheat germ. Yeah. Healthy people who live 180 years eat wheat germ. So a guy asked me that his wife puts it into the cholent because wheat germ you don't make it into a tafshil. You don't make it into a. So he said, "Well, Susi, it has to be made into a tafshil." The outside, the darker lechel kach mevushel kan arefel shel soirim. I don't know. There used to be a soup made of barley, a barley soup. So that's a normal eating. Yesh omrim atshi mismach. It's not enough they took out the outer shell. They have to get into a mush. Then you make him a zoinis. Now this is very important. Health people eat barley, not shelled barley. I've seen that already. I don't want to make fun of it. Anyone health people over here? Barley, I've seen this. Health minded people, barley. They buy whole barley and they cook it, but it doesn't become, she explained to me, I have someone who asked me, it does not become a mush. It stays separate, right?
Okay.
So then you don't make a bayit b'mezainis. You make a bayit b'adama. Right?
And mushroom barley soup.
What your wife makes is a regular barley starch turns into a mush. The barley, mushroom.
It's water. It's water.
I see a full kernel when you eat mushroom barley.
Or cholent.
Sure, no, but it gets connected. It gets attached to each other.
So in such a case,
It's a mezainis.
mezainis.
Right. The only time is when it's a full kernel and it doesn't get attached.
Is it with the outer shell?
The outer shell.
But if there's no outer shell, like what we get in
Yeah,
the
the store, that's mush. That's okay.
Mushroom barley soup, you make mezainis, you don't have to make.
B'shako, just a mezainis. La'achrav, we'll later get to it even more. La'achrav,
If you mix wheat germ with water,
wheat germ, the many people, yes, you make it by priyadoma.
make hadama for water.
Wheat germ, people told me they put it into the cholent also. So the cholent, you have to put body, you have to make a mezainis. What bracha do you make on cholent? Do you know what bracha you make on cholent? 3 brachas? What? No, you want to make a mezainis. Because anything that has mezainis inside of it, all you do make a mezainis.
Even though the meat's more flesh.
That's if you put a barley.
Well, if you depends. Yeah, if you have a chunk of meat, then many hold you have to make a shak of meat. Let's just talk without meat. Yeah, let's just talk without the meat, because the meat is very chashiv, and the meat does not become bottled. That's true, because people want the meat. But if you take the cholent without the meat, let's say the cholent with the beans, whatever they put in, if you put in barley, you only make a mezainis.
Svardim who make kamim where they separate all the foods from each other. So you have your barley package, and you have your eggs, and you have your meat separate.
They mamish separate.
Yeah. What they do is they add it in like a cheesecloth or in foil, and it's separate in the crock pot. So it's served all cooked together, but it's served in like different sections.
So each one needs a separate bracha. That's not one. We're talking about cooking together.
They are cooked together.
Yeah, but in the bags, you said it doesn't become one.
Yeah, but
They're in the same pot, but it's like a little
It's a cheesecloth, which is half full.
Yeah, then you have to make each one needs a separate bracha.
2 brachas, really. You have a big chunks of meat. You would say
The big chunks of meat you have to make a shakon. Yeah.
How much mezainis would be in the cholent?
Enough that it gives it a good taste. And probably if your wife puts barley, it gives it a taste.
I make the cholent, yeah, for barley.
And why? Because it gives it a taste. It gives it a certain taste.
So based on that, it sounds like on a milky cholent, if I was eating it, I would first make a mezainis, make some, and then eat a piece of flesh and make a shahak.
Shakon.
And that's it.
That's it.
Mezainis and shahak.
Even if your portion doesn't actually have a barley in it, nonetheless.
Well, how is that possible?
Because I put very little barley.
Why do you put barley into it?
Make it thick.
Gives it a taste?
Make it thick. Make it thick.
No. That's what I'm asking him.
Actually good.
Why do you put barley into it?
It tastes good. But if your portion happens not to have it,
I asked this to many people. People tell me you put barley to give it a taste. I asked my wife. My wife does not show what she puts in it.
Not sure, it's more than thick it is.
It's more than a thing. You give it a taste.
So you don't have to put a lot.
Yeah, so it gives it a taste. You have to make the same.
Sometimes people make it too soupy, the cholent. That happens sometimes. And then in such a case, you might be left with some that doesn't have any barley.
All right.
But you definitely want to make a separate bracha on a big
so
chunk
in a
of
soupy
potato.
cholent, you make a
No.
shakol if you have nothing in your actual bowl. If you have a soupy cholent, let's make it simple. You made soup. And in the soup there's barley. And your cup of soup happens not to have any barley. It's chisel. You make a shakol.
Make a shock if there's no barley. I don't know how that's possible, but by Nuchem everything's possible.
But it's time.
Some people make potatoes in a steak. They'll take a potato and cut it in half.
If the potato is sticking out,
Maybe there's a big potato.
yeah, but I see the Chon's shul, they also have potatoes, but it's mixed in.
No, I'm saying a piece that you can see that.
If it's a big potato, then it's not bottled to the Chon. Or eggs, you know, that people put eggs into the Chon. Yeah, so it's not bottled because they take it out and eat it separate.
So the cholent usually people put in big chunks of potato. When we get our cholent here, it's a big chunk piece of potato. It doesn't chop them up small.
Maybe the Russians made different.
The big chunk of potato, you have a big chunk of meat. You have to make separate broths.
But if it's a big chunk, of potatoes, you have to make a separate bracha. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they don't do it that way. They're tiny pieces.
You wash with your challah, then you know.
No, but you don't have kiddush over here after davening?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that the caterer doesn't chop up the potatoes small.
It does. Yes.
He makes a big chunk of potatoes.
They save on the meat. They put a big potato in there.
So the potatoes you have to
My mother Zangesipnistark told me that, you know, in Hungary, they never such a thing put potatoes into chalm. She came in after the war, she was, you know, spent with the Polish. Put potatoes into the chalm? Like,
What are they using for control?
just beans. Hungary was a much more wealthy place, so they put beans and meat into it. It was much wealthier and they had food. The Polish were very poor, so they put a lot of potatoes into it.
By the way, the Moroccans told me the same thing about the Tunisians. I was having this exact discussion a week ago. They were explaining how in Tunisia they were poor, so that they cooked like that with potatoes and stuff like that, and in Morocco they were rich, and they didn't. Same exact
Yeah,
thing.
it's true. That is true. One of the unfortunate problem we all humans have, that, you know, we try to think we're superior. So, yeah. Because I have to live with myself, so I have to say I'm perfect. I can't walk around thinking I'm not perfect. Okay.
I'm kind of bugged up by the chalm thing. I have to say, because if I take a scoop of chalm where I have it on my spoon, I have some barley, but I have a big piece of potato that you can see it's a big piece of potato.
It's a big piece of potato, the way you describe. I didn't realize that.
They cut them, he cuts them in quarters. They're that big. They're big.
Then it's not mushed into the chalm.
No.
Then you have to make a separate bracha. It's not mushed in the way you describe. It's not mushed into the thing.
It's a defined potato. No.
You could see the potato sticking out. That's what you describe. You make a separate bracha on the potato.
You make 3 brachas, then become a zayin, and then you make a
That's the order. You wash and, so what's the order?
What's the 3
There's
brachas?
meat and potatoes.
Oh,
meat,
there's meat.
and barley.
So would you make the shahakal first because the meat is the most chashuv? No, so much first.
The zaynis, you make it zaynis. Unless you enjoy meat very much, then we later learn as machlekes you can make it meat.
Most of us enjoy meat very much.
But then you made already a l'chaim, you made a shahakal already. You made a l'chaim before the challah.
Okay, let's finish this piece of Brisa. Abel, Yemishalom Shlesi Kerusa Lismach, Enwech Ereboy Priaduma, and Achra Boy in the Fushes Rabbis. If it's just with the entire kernel, that's not a yichus. Yesh mistachgun v'richar bei fushes rabbi so me en gimel. Toises held that on the whole kernels maybe you should make aladumu v'al priadumu. At nivus asu that eretz chemdu. You heard what we say. Toises said that on whole kernels that maybe but supik you can't make alamichu, but maybe you make the whole man shalosh. Ladumu v'apriyadumu. V'supik ze omrim shein echel meni kishikim b'toch ha-seder. V'nocheluch ish the revelik etchila not to eat whole kernels on the seder. Aber mit irish she'ulchashe b'toch ha-seder would have been pushed rabbis. So the kids say nuchoin. The Rav says main question I've been asked was people tell me about this whole wheat germ. I literally had to see it one time with the. This is it. This is mamish. It's a whole kernel. So you put it into the challah, then it's not a problem. Make a mazonis in the barley anyways. But if you put it into, many people just put it in, she told me she puts it into the soup. So then it's a big problem what brachas you should make. But, right. So the best, but it's nuchain. Me'ikra din the Rabbis paskin and you make a bunch of fushes. It's nuchain, it's, if you're Yiddish mind, then.
What does this mean, the
Should only eat in the middle of a meal. Because what brachas
What you're saying is nothing to do what?
It's not to eat it whole kernels only in the middle of a meal. They avoid problems. Because this whole wheat kernel, which bracha do you make? Who's health minded? Who makes whole wheat kernels? No one.
In easy store to be the healthiest food.
Rabbi, don't we do the same thing with rice also? Where because there's a suffix or whatever.
We'll get later. We'll get to it. We get to rice. Yes. Well, you can make. See, you want to know about rice? Let me tell you an interesting thing about rice. See, Rav, it's a machlokes what doichen is. Oir is a doichen. So the Rav holds that it's a suffix. What happened was history, as more Rishonim they found they realized that everyone besides Rashi says, Oiris is rice. Your Persian, how do you say rice in Persian? A rose. Rose. I was told it's a rose. Like the Lashon Gemara. That's what a Persian guy told me, man. You know how to say rice? I forgot? Yeah, okay.
Arroz is in Espanol, in Spanish.
That's a polo?
Arroz is Spanish.
Anyway, so, but the Rav Rishonim, now, so the Chabad took the Rav says in the Seder it's a suffix, but I have a kasha. You know, the Rav says you have to be makbid on Yoshon. You know, I almost spoke about it over here. And the Tzemach Tzedek also says, but after the Tzemach Tzedek was nifta, when was the Tzemach Tzedek nifta? Do you know the year? The two fresh. In English, not Kurdish, and that's not going to help you in English. Two fresh what? Yeah, that makes sense. The two fresh Lamed, or Lamed Abeis, they printed the Arzurua. The Arzurua is Erishin. And in there, he explains why the Ashkenazim was not makbid, and everyone accepted it. Even Chabad. You never heard of such a thing as B'chodesh Yoshin. No, we never heard of such a thing. Because of this. So the same thing as I tell people with rice. Before it was printed all the Rishonim and Rasha, but afterwards you see every Rishon, there are many Yoina they found from the Rishbam they found all say Oiris is rice, not like Rasha. So that's why the Welt, besides Chabad, makes on rice a Mezainis. I'm saying besides Chabad, Ashkenazim all make Mezainis and rice. The Chabad doesn't, because the Rasha holds Oiris is not rice. Rasha says Oiris is millet. So it's a Machlokas Rasha and Tosfos. So we don't know what Oiris is. They're not going to the Lubavitch, Machlokas Rasha and Tosfos. The Shulchan Aruch was also not Machriya. But as generation went on, the more they found new Rishonim, you know, they'll print. Rabbi Blau, who's a Lubavitcher, when he printed his Brachas, he himself was telling me this. He himself, you know, he was the first one who printed the Ksav Yad from, you know, Rabbi Blau, you know which one I'm talking about.
Well, no, he went to the Vatican and all that. Right?
Yeah, so he printed Amsechtas Brachas 3 Rishonim, and all 3 say, oh, it is rice. So that's why the Welt, how do you make a Messiahs? That's what people always ask me about, how can you make a Messiahs? Because it's beside.
We said before that in general with brachas, even if there's one opinion that holds it different, so then you're suffering and you say shahakal. Why would this not be the same?
Yeah, because here we have a confusion. Because here it's not a shahakal, it's either a oiris or the adoichen, so you have to make 3 of them. But Rabbi doesn't say 3 brachas, we'll see next week. It doesn't even say 3 brachas, that came later. Chabad makes machmed both ways. The reason I say the Persians are very annoyed with this. They eat a lot of rice, right?
Most Persians say
make a Mezainis. Yeah, it's not just Sfard, it's nothing but Sfard.
In general, the belt is overall makes Mezainis.
The whole world makes Mezainis, not just the general.
So we didn't accept Rashi
Traces. But afterwards, everyone else. Like, right, so everyone after Rasha, like, okay.
Actually, it's not great. I was very blessed.